Join us every week for coaching and Q&A. You'll learn how to get more listings signed and sold following the simple and fun easy listing method. Plus, find hidden gem tips and get motivated as you surround yourself with like-minded peers in this weekly mastermind. Let's jump in.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
You guys want to see the workshop? We're getting a little further. You want to see the presentation while we're waiting for people?
yeah. Yeah.
Everybody can see the screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So we got, everybody knows who these cast of characters are. And again, we're going to talk about lead generation, acquisitions, 3 choices for the sellers, contract and disclosures, real estate agent partnership, and business to business, stress-free closes. So I know I said it last week, but just in case you don't remember, we are planning on spreading to Canada and Mexico at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a new agent on board that's saying that we should be doing this in Italy as well. So that would make my wife happy. So we are going to expand at some point down there. And then we went over our mission and vision statements. And then the lead generation we went over. Forms, libraries. So we've got a whole host of forms for you guys and forms for them on how to hand them off. And then we go through the 3 different forms or sales methods. And then we'll talk to them about the contracts. And these are the forms that are coming. I'm having them made. And just so you guys know, I'll show you the form that we've been using, which is, it's okay because it's in Excel, but for the seller intake form when they come in, these are the questions that Jeff's filling out before it goes into the disposition team. So we're taking that, and then Joy and Jeff were nice enough to create forms for us, but these are the forms that we'll be handing out to. So I'm having them rebuilt, so a little bit nicer looking. So we got that. Oop. So the forms will be on this side, and it'll be an explanation on this side of what to do. And then the real estate, we're going to talk a bit about your responsibility and the agent handoff. We're going to show them the training that we did for you as well and talk about that and why that's relevant to them. So again, the idea is to not have you out there chasing garbage and cleaning stuff up. It's that you get paid to sell the home, period. On there. And then we've got, I think you guys saw this down here, but the title company and roles, mortgage loan, capital. So these are people that we've been using in our sphere of influence right now, and we've got a couple other ones coming. So anyway, it's getting closer. How did it look to everybody?
Looked good to me.
Real good. Looks
Yeah,
good.
real good.
Looks really good. Yeah.
Very cool. That's what we've got coming for you guys. So today is your day to ask questions. Does anybody have any questions or comments or statements or anything that they want to share? Bonnie, what do you have?
Okay, since this is my first time in this, I wanted to make certain on my listing on the, I know the Easy Seller platform, buyer a platform, the thing I filled it out and they signed it. But on my listing agreement on the compensation section, do I put the compensation as 6% there for the seller or leave it blank?
Well, remember the seller is not paying it, the buyer is.
Okay, so
So
leave it
what I'm
blank.
able to do in my MLS is put C easy addendum or call me for it. Does your MLS allow you even to put compensation agreements in?
No, we're not
anymore?
allowed to put anything.
So
No.
what you've got to do is call listing agent or call our 800 number and let
Yeah.
us explain what the buyer's premium is.
Yeah. So, but on the listing agreement, when I just put 0 there,
Yep.
turn into my office and along with the buyer's addendum.
I do
Correct.
not do that. I do not do that. I would, I mean, for the Nevada contract, I put the actual 6% and then I explain to the buyer in the addendum that that is being passed to the buyer and that's how they get that 0%.
Yeah, that's what I put on the additional terms on at the end of the contract. The seller has chosen to use the buyer premium model. In this approach, the buyer agrees to pay at the buyer's premium to compensate both the listing and the selling agent.
Yeah, when you put in the easy addendum, so you'll put the easy addendum in the addendum. There's an addendum portion on a listing agreement. So you'd say see easy addendum. Then in special steps, I put if buyer or if seller chooses to use the easy platform to sell the property, the easy addendum replaces the compensation line. And you can
And
even
that's what you put on,
line.
that's what you put on the listing agreement online on the MLS?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
that. That's better.
I like that
Well,
verbiage.
I'll write it out. But yeah, so there's a portion where it says addendums, usually on the back of the listing agreement. So you'd say see easy addendum. And then in special steps, and I can write it in the chat too, but I would just say, if seller chooses to use the easy platform to sell the property, the easy addendum overrides the compensation agreement portion of the contract. And you can even put line, whatever it is, line 32 or whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
then you
that's
have
on
it,
the,
then you have it in that portion if they elect to not do that.
Right. If
You're
for
covered.
any
Yeah.
reason that just, my broker insisted on that, and some of your brokers may as well, just because that protects the brokerage itself.
Yep.
I think
Makes
that's
sense.
fantastic, Joy. That's perfect. That's much better. So
Yeah, please share that verbiage out. I would appreciate that.
And then Quinn, I was going to ask you when you put on the 6%, that's implying the seller's paying it.
Yeah, because when we actually get to closing, the seller's going to have that on their side, on their statement, right? So I just walk through it with the seller. When we go through process, the buyer is going to pay this over and above their offer. So this is how we get to this. So it's really clear, because I don't want them to get to the closing table and be like, wait a minute, we talked about 0% and now it's on my side here. Like, I want that to be super clear that there should be no issues when we get to closing.
Awesome. That's
Yep.
great. And I hope everybody likes the disclosures in the new addendum, because it really does spell out exactly the way it works, and it's really taken a lot of the conversation, not necessarily for sellers, because I think we all do a pretty good job of talking to our seller about it, but it seems the brokers are the ones that enjoy the disclosure more. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you guys. That was awesome. Thanks, Bonnie, for asking. Quinn,
welcome.
awesome.
I
Joy,
have a question,
Um,
Robert. I've talked about 4 friends, realtor friends, about easy over the weekend. And one of the questions that just kept coming up in good old California, mostly lawyer-friendly state in the union, they wanted to know what is the language or how to talk to the lenders? How do we talk to our buyer's lender to have them, because
that's
Well,
all done through the purchase sale agreement.
You wouldn't talk to the lender at all. Like, it's just, that's part of the all-up offer, right? So it's included in the offer.
You got a financing addendum, right, Kenneth? So that goes to them. You are working out the terms of that financing agreement for it's mutual. So the financing agreement terms would just hold true and fit. So in other words, if you were asking specifically about how do I add in some buyer's premium that's left over and I still have it built where I've got enough value to do that, you would put
Yeah.
that in the financing addendum.
got it.
So they know it's just a certain amount of money it's going towards buying down points, closing costs, whatever the terms
Got
to
it.
be.
Sorry, I
Excellent.
thought you were asking a different question.
And
No,
where is,
no, the answer. I was going to repeat it because that's the answer that they wanted to know. Makes all the sense in the world.
and where do you get the financing addendum at, Robert?
That's your MLS agreement, your purchase sale agreement, part of your purchase sale agreement.
Right.
It should be, I mean, most MLSs have a financing addendum.
Because they got to stipulate what they're doing financing, whether it's conventional, FHA, whatever the thing is, and it would be filled out on there. Yeah, because they'll always ask, how much is the seller responsible for paying? Yeah, are there any contingencies on the financing addendum? So, good question. Thank you, Kenneth.
Great.
What else?
I think that'd be a good one to like work through as a group, and a scenario of how that would work, how you'd fill out, a finance addendum. I think it would be helpful.
Okay, let me put that in our. So you would like a topic Thursday to be the financing addendum?
Yeah, I think it would be just to go through an example deal of how we would structure that. So let's take that 10% example, and we're going to whatever the maximum is, whether that's 3% or what we can credit back. I think it would be great to walk through that so everybody understands it.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, speaking of that, are there any other topics as a group collectively you guys want us to go over?
Maybe how a novation, I guess, what the responsibilities on the agent in a novation, any kind of special paperwork, anything if it's completely, we're hands off, great, but I would like to understand that.
Okay. What else?
Since we're here, is it a conflict of interest working the novation as both the agent and the contractor, general contractor, for the renovations?
That's your broker. That's a broker question.
Yeah,
Oh, you're the broker.
Yeah, I'm the broker.
You tell me the rule on
No, you mean, is it a conflict with brokerage? Company? Absolutely not. I'm talking about the conflict of interest. Does that appear as a conflict of interest with
I
Easy?
always say stuff like that, Kenneth, disclose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
As
always
long as everything's
disclose.
disclosed, what are they going to
Yeah.
sue you for? And you got to sign the disclosure signed.
Exactly. I would ensure everybody's signing off on that. Yep.
So it's always and that's what that's what I love about what we do. And that's what I love about helping our investor friends solidify their business. There's nothing to be afraid of. You know, instead of going for the kill shots, let's offer them 3 simple packages. They choose whichever one they want. And the idea, again, the cash is one thing. Novations are making a little bit more. And then the easy platform, they're making a little bit more on that. So it's the novations, simply, you got to explain that the investor is doing a little bit of work for you on the property. They're putting in some of their own hard cash. And so in fact, I'm calling the novation agreement a partnership agreement between the seller and the investor company. But everybody will know it's a novation. Okay, so any other topics?
I have a quick question. I'm wondering, I'd like a poll from agents if they would be interested in doing an agent workshop. And if so, what would you want on there? I mean, I know we do the master training, but maybe this would be something, I don't know, again, question.
Is that for REIs or for either?
For either, how to really utilize the Easy platform in your business, how to generate leads from it, any other topic you feel like you would like more information on, would like to know about, would like
How
think
to
that would be
handle
great.
objections.
how to handle objections. Okay.
So how is this different than kind of what we cover in Thursdays? I just trying to understand what we're talking about here.
Nothing. It's necessarily different. It would just be, again, more in depth as far as we could go into exactly how to implement it into, and then it would be recorded. So if you ever wanted to go back and just have it in one place, it would be able to be out there.
So
Okay.
maybe it's something longer than an hour to an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Maybe maybe it's not useful. If anyone thinks it would be, I would love to. I could put that together and then answer specific questions. Maybe that. And again, it might be that it is in one place. That this would be one place where we would instead. I know our topic Tuesday or Thursdays vary, so this would be, you know, an all-inclusive kind of.
I know that I would like to see an REI version because so you guys understand when I say traditional now in
Yep.
our setting, that means it's the easy non-investor listing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not saying that I want to do it traditional without the platform. Now traditional for our
Mhm.
verbiage is going to be a seller putting us on the easy platform. And then when we talk about the REI stuff, that's a completely different category. Because remember, everything's different. The pricing's different. The listings are different. the investor signing the listing forms in theory. And I think we found out last week, I found out anyways, or I don't know who, the Vince Urich in Ohio, that I think Adam had called it an indemnification form they've got to add to it. I didn't know anything about that. So all of these things in these states that have that, I think that's why we need to do this, even an agent workshop, and just be more like Quinn wants to know more about the novation agreement, that we go into a kind of a deep dive on the responsibility of the investor, the responsibility of the sellers. I know Adam, in some of his stuff that I've seen, he will have sellers sign everything as well as him signing it. Again, full disclosure, no hidden agenda. We're here for you. We create win-win situations. So I do know that Joy at some point would like to develop that, and I think we kind of have a half-assed one, that the one that we did on the topic Thursdays, but it's got to go into a little bit more depth than we were able to do in the hour. So
Barbara, do y'all ever use this for REO homes?
yeah, well, everybody knows that we're trying to. How many agents do I need to get to for Deutschbank to kick in? Somebody else tell me, because I preach it at nauseum.
How many what? I'm sorry.
Agents does Easy Real Estate. Greg, how many agents does Easy Real Estate Platform have to have for the Deutschbank to kick in?
I do not know. I think it's 1,500.
I don't know.
But you got the 500 part. So when we
2,500.
get to 2,500 agents
Oh,
2,500.
nationwide, and that's why we are on a huge membership drive. They will release 35% of their inventory to our agents. And for all of you who have suffered, including myself, through the old method of REI, making sure the water's turned on, making sure the electricity's on, making sure the house is in order, making
Yeah.
sure that then having to price it once a month and tell them, explaining why it didn't sell once a month. Well, because it looks like a piece of crap. The water's off, the yard's dead.
Just did that this morning.
So, all right, we will not be doing that. The service company is going to take care of all of that stuff. All you have to do is sell it. And if it doesn't sell in the month, all you have to do is a BPO. And why are they doing that? Because they're not paying the commission. So they're going to turn that money back into keeping the house up. Repairs will be done before you list it. Michelle, how long have I been working on this?
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, just so you guys know, the way that this happened back when I first got into real estate business, 2006, that's when the market was starting to crash. And everybody was selling their house because if you remember, they did so many stupid loans. There was no skin in the game, no money. People didn't put anything down. So it was bad business for buyers to keep the home. So everybody was lying to get out of their payment and doing crazy stuff. Well, my wife and I started doing short sales, and we started a little short sale company. In fact, we were doing the West Coast, and we were doing Washington, California, and Nevada short sales. And so it kind of pissed me off for the good, honest owners of the home that had some kind of tragedy, something happened where they just couldn't afford the payments anymore that were legitimate, that I'd go to Deutsche, we'd submit all the paperwork, we'd submit, who knows if they ever looked at them, who didn't. So I bought stock into the company, and I went back to an annual meeting. And in that stockholders meeting, they'll allow members to ask questions. So I got up and said, I want to know why our service department sucks. I've submitted over 100 deals that were legitimate, win-win situations, and you guys denied every one of them. Needless to say, they wouldn't answer that in person, but they pulled me back in a day later. Subsequently, they let go of the head of the servicing department and replaced him with the guy that I complained to. So I've had a fairly decent relationship with them since. I had friends going into Detroit, Michigan, Ken, contractors
Uh,
buying blocks of homes for $10.
yeah,
They would turn around
yeah.
and renovate those homes, and then what they do, they would carry the paper on them. That guy, I've never spoken to that guy again because he made too much money. Now I'm just a lackey of his. So I should have been the one doing it with them. But so we've got that in our back pocket. As long as I've been working on this with the company, we haven't, I mean, we're still, and when I say it's funny, I'll say we have 750 people that are, Michelle, how many people are quote unquote agents in the company? How many have we've sent
and the
certificates?
CRM, the last I looked at it was 769.
769, and you guys are the only ones that are using the platform, right? So we're on a huge membership drive. I think we can all agree in the last 6 months, the training's gotten a lot better. Being that you guys are coming on the Mondays and Thursdays, I think that's gotten better. And I think between Kat, Joy, and Michelle, with the customer service part of it, we really do care about you guys and we want you guys to succeed. And so I think the program's gotten a ton better. So we are a rehired back a sales team that got us the biggest part of it. So he starts, in fact, we have a company meeting at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock Eastern, and he will be reintroduced to the company. And so we're going to get really aggressive with that and make it work. So we're doing our best to get to 2,500 by the end of the year. I've been told by him that the government's going to stop subsidizing foreclosures by the end of the year. So next year they're going to start releasing them. So get ready. So we're also talking to a couple other service companies as well. All right. So, but with the Mark and the Deutsche Bank, they're going to do all the work on the home. And I haven't gotten anybody else to agree to do that. Yeah. So that is coming. Honor, trust me, we're going to give it a good college effort. And that just for all of you that want to make some extra residual, that's where the enterprise group comes in, where you could actually purchase some seats, bring on agents, and all those agents that you bring on help us. But we pay you a 10% residual of the easy fee we collect on there. So, and then we've got brokers now. It's part of this nationwide campaign is talking to brokers and helping them out with this crazy new regulations that they have. And a lot of brokerages are struggling right now, you guys. Things aren't moving at a quick pace. So that's the biggest reason for transitioning into the investors right now. So
Yeah, a lot of owners are canceling contracts. They're sitting there 45 going into the 60-day margin and they're canceling contracts. That's
Yep.
what the conversation I had with the agents over the weekend. Several of them had 5 or 6 canceled contracts.
So what I go back to and say, Kenneth, is the broker, the guy with the solutions, where do you think that they're going wrong?
Basically, what they were saying to me is, Ken, the sellers are just want
No,
X amount
I
of
get what they're
dollars.
saying. How would you tell them to fix it?
No, what I told them, that's what I started discussing the easy program with. I was saying, listen, look at what I did, little PowerPoint, the easy PowerPoint that's on there on my website. And I said, hey man, it's something that you guys need to look at, get involved in, come aboard, because you could have saved those contracts just saying, look at this program. Because I said, most sellers are saying, okay, I want X amount of dollars. They're looking at what they have to pay out. What is the amount of money that they're going to get in their pocket? And I said, come with the easy program where it's 0% financing, 0% commission, and you explain the buyer premium and how it works. Seller is almost what they almost can't say no. And I said, that's where you have the opportunity.
I get all that stuff. We did a specific training, especially for our friends in Florida. Our friends in Florida have been dealing with since the hurricanes came through last year. And I mean, their crap is dropping like 22%. this year alone. So my point is that, yeah, the easy, we can simplify that, but what training, we did a topic training on Thursday, specifically talking about what can you offer them that they need to be disclosing to their sellers. So you guys remember the InfoSparks, the trends? And who has RP? Does everybody have RPR?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I don't, but I sure in the heck wish I did.
I know.
But you got to start taking out trends. The sellers have to know where the market's heading. And it's going, you've got to do a better job giving them sales. There's two theories that even Greg talks a lot about. There's bottom up and top down. You want to be chasing the price up, or do you want to be chasing the price down? We always want to be chasing it up, right?
Yes.
We got to utilize those forums, and because the listings right now, so if you guys are on Seattle, I think we've moved into, it's taken 180 days in most areas to sell a home. So, and they're, by the 180 days, they've done 3 or 4 price reductions on top of it, right? So knowing that that's happening, we have to do that report. And when we do our listing presentation, we got to be real with that seller. Now, we're not saying that it's going to take us 6 months. What do we preach with the easy? It's half the time. So in you want to sell this home quicker, but you do want to get it sold. This is where it needs to be priced at. And that's some of the basic things that our agents, and that's on topic Thursday. We're going to finish our question and answer session, but that's one of the questions that's coming up. How do we, in a buyer's market, when stuff keeps sitting on the market, agents are losing their listings, what advice could we give them that would make it more constructive? And that's, we got to start figuring out what the trends are before it happens. We want the sellers to sell before it gets down to 6 months. Listen, if we price it at this 90-day price instead of the 180-day price, would that benefit you, Mr. Seller? You're making this much more money on it. So I understand you want $900,000 for the home, but it's not happening right now. Here's the RPR thing. This is where it's trending down to 820 for the 6 month, 750 for the 180 day, and they're still not selling. So why don't we get ahead of the other agents and let's put it down to the 90-day price range? So then what, again, when we do it lower, what happens? We get more people looking at the home.
More people, yes.
More people looking at the home means more offers. More offers means more money for the seller, right?
Exactly.
So we got to start incorporating some of these things to our sellers when we go into all these things that we've been talking about. And then once we get into the traditional, we've got it priced at that. And since we're attracting more buyers to loving it, right, which is going into that agent portal, the buyer's agent portal, then what do? What method do we use to stay in touch with those buyer's agents? What do we call that? I forget.
Reverse prospecting.
If we don't remember this stuff in a strong buyer's market, let me ask something better, because Kat and I were talking about this last week. If I were to put together a cheat sheet for you guys with all the things that...
Yes, start now.
Because these are the things that we can't forget about. We can't forget about the RPR, the trends. We can't forget about reverse prospecting. We can't forget about the basics of real estate, because these are the things that are going to separate you from everybody else. All right, Frank. Kat, I'll do that. So anyways, but we'll put together those forms. But these are the things that should be separating you guys from the normal listing agent. There should be no reason why you walk out of there with something that's priced at today's value, when even in California now, I think California is the last one to have slid into a buyer's market. Even in California, if we've slid into a buyer's market, the whole country needs to be doing this, and your agents need to be doing this. And yes, I would like them to come use the Easy Real Estate platform, but the reality is that we've got to know our craft. I mean, you guys, quite honestly, you should be in the top 1% for listing agents in your MLS. I should be able to pull everybody's name up and say, oh, Kenneth Collins did 100 listings this year. How the hell that happened? Quinn Greeley did 200. Erica Grubbs did 300. Frank Macri did 10. So, anyways, but if you take these trainings that we're doing and you actually put them into use, your homes will sell faster. You got a better chance of selling your homes than anybody else does, because we're not fighting the trends, we're agreeing with the trends, and we're helping the sellers. Because quite honestly, if I go out to a listing presentation and they don't want to play the game of getting it down to a 90-day price, I mean, so let's see here. I put $2,500 into advertising for my listings, got another $600 into pictures, do a walkthrough video that everybody's seen, that's $800 on there. And then I got to pay for the sign to be put out there. It's $150. Then, of course, I'm going to make some stuff for when people are walking by, that with the QR code that they can scan and then look at the house. And it's another $25 for a laminated sign, because I actually put them on a little plexi sign so that they're weather resistant. I mean, how much am I into that by the time I'm done with that listing?
Yeah.
4 to 5 grand.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so if people don't want to sell the home, I don't want to list their home. And I got a call from Laura Beltran last week that said, well, I don't want to list this home because it's in a state of repair, it's cluttered, it's garbage, and this needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed. Well, don't list it. The way she put it was as much her brand that it was the seller's brand, because she's listing a pile of junk. And she doesn't want agents in her area. She doesn't want to be known for that. She wants to be known as the agent that sells the homes and does right by the sellers. And I appreciate that attitude. But all of us would say we definitely know each one of you individually, a little bit, some more than others. And that's kind of what I love about our group, is that we've all got that same passion too, to be the best and work out win-win situations. All right. Any other topics you guys can think of? And then I'm going to unveil something, or I want some feedback on something myself for the last 10 minutes. So anybody have any other topics they want to go over on Thursday topic?
The thing prior to the change in the market, in regards to the open house, the philosophy was the one and done. Is that still the philosophy? And on top of that, maybe something that could be a future topic Thursday or something with Joy is, in this state of the market, what are the best practices for holding a successful open house? Because it seems that even with a successful open house, these properties aren't flying off the shelf. But to get the most bang for your buck, if you're going to be holding them, what do we do? How do we adjust to this market?
I'd be happy to do that, but I'm going to give you a simple answer right now, Frank, is beside for the open house, utilize the other tools that we've been talking about, the reverse prospecting. Most of the people that go into the open house have a real estate agent. The real estate agent knows they show that home, and if they happen to love it, we got to stay in communication. Again, and you guys, being that you guys have access to a buyer's premium, we have more flexibility in the way for the buyers that can help them lower their payment down other stuff. But yeah, I think that's a good topic Thursday, Frank. I got that written down. Anybody else? All right. So I want to run a contest for September, October, November, December. Is that a quarter, or what is that, Michelle, for 4 months?
Third.
Is that a quarter though?
At the third.
No, it's a
It's
third.
3 months a quarter. It's
3
a third
months
of the
a
year.
quarter.
Three months a quarter.
Okay, so I want to run a 4-month contest. And what it's going to be is for closed deals. Somebody give me some ideas. What would motivate you to actually go out and try to get listings? And the only way I know to do is have 2 prizes, one for the most netted money and then one for the most closed transactions. They both deal with each other, but Frank's got a huge pricing than we do.
Mm-hmm.
His homes are probably $1 million. Frank, are you guys under $1 million? What's the average sale in your neck of the woods?
Well, here in Carlsbad, where I'm at, it's about 1.2, 1.3.
That's probably a condo.
Now, well,
Single
some of
family
them are
homes are
that,
going
but
for that?
you're not gonna get a condo for less than about 8. But
Wow.
So he's got a little bit of like, so tell me what kind of prizes would get you guys motivated to go out and get more listings.
And also on the same topic, like what keeps you from doing that? Like what are the obstacles?
Oh, maybe that's even that's a topic Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, I can give you an answer right now. The situation that I'm dealing with, and just to give an update, we have our plans drawn up and they're going to be soon going to be submitted to the planning department for the rebuild of our home. But some of the thing that is keeping me from really doing what I need to do, I'm doing some things. I'm trying to get more familiar with the Easy platform so that when I go out to talk to the people and present the program, I want to sound like I'm confident. I don't want to get stuck not being able to answer a certain question. I want to be able to flow through the net sheets and explain everything thoroughly. So that's what I'm pretty much trying to do at this point, is get more familiar with the information. It's not that I can't do it. It's just I want to be confident out there, and I don't want the people to lose faith in me because they're thinking, well, she does not know what she's doing. Because now it's okay if I don't know an answer sometimes, but I will get back to them. I'll say, well, I don't have an answer to that right now, but that's okay. But I still want it to be fluid in everything else that I've said to them. That's the thing that's kind of making me not go out and fully go into an all-out discussion with people. I will get to that point though, and then I will go there. Now, I do have investors. I have an investor that texted me the other day. So I am in the process of looking for a property for that person. He wants an off-market property. Then I have dealt with the other individuals that are, which we can't use for novations. Those are the wholesalers, and they always want to take too much. They don't want to leave anything for anybody. So I've just kind of left them alone. But that would be my explanation. And I know that I need to work on that.
Would role playing be helpful for you? What would be helpful for that?
Yes, I know that yes, the role playing
Okay.
would be helpful, definitely, to sit down and do that. And I know that I can do that by myself as well. And I will eventually do that, but I just want to get more confident with the material. I have the concept, I have a better concept of everything, but it's just not fluid yet. So yes, the role playing would be definitely helpful, like sitting down, starting with a person and saying, okay, just like Robert was saying, okay, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, we know that you'd like to have your house at this price, but I have this platform for you, and what we will do, decrease it by so many percentage amounts, and then let's see what will happen. And that's usually what I would do when I would go into a listing. When I would talk to my clients, I would say, look, I know you want to list your house at this amount. Okay, I'm going to listen to you right now, but in 2 weeks, if it doesn't sell, I don't have any activity for you, then we're going to go back to the price that I indicated. So I take control of the situation. I don't let them handle it, and then they'll agree with me, because they want someone who's in control and tells them what to do. They don't want someone that's going to be a pushover. And you do have to have those conversations, because they want to control the situation and they don't know what's best for them. And then later.
Okay, so let me throw it out to the group. What advice would we give? So obviously role playing would be one thing that, Joy, that's awesome. What other advice would you guys give Erica?
Well, I would say initially you got to take the listing at the right price from the get-go. If, as you were indicating, Erica, like, okay, we'll go with your price. If nothing happens in 2 weeks, then we'll switch. Well, you can't recapture that first splash on the market.
Right.
I want to say this also too. Every time I do a listing, because I'm more or less a listing agent, I don't like dealing with purchasing buyers. If somebody wants me to, I will deal with the buyer. When I get a listing, I sell that property. It doesn't go anywhere. And I've been fortunate to double in them as well. But when I get a listing, I'm making sure that I sell that property. It doesn't cancel. I do everything in my power to make sure that it works. And I always price my properties well. And the ones where I did have to tell the person, we're going to go back and lower the amount, I did sell that property too. Even though it was under 500 square feet, it had solar panels, it had a pedophilia case on it. It was awful. I've always had cases where I have multiple issues going on.
All right,
Another
well,
one-
hang on, Erica. Let people answer. We're running out of time here. Let them answer what they would say about your first. So does anybody else have any more advice for Erica?
Yes, I would. What I've been doing is I've been really doing a deep dive into the easy training materials, the marketing materials. That's where I find the materials for my website and just rehearsing that. But Erica, I'm open for any kind of training that you want to do. If you want to do face to face, or you want to do, we've met already, or you want to do over the phone, over Zoom meeting, we can just do test runs. But I found it very informative to go through the easy marketing, easy training material, because it really gives you in-depth, it's giving me in-depth understanding of the program as I go through more and more. So that, to me, that has really helped me personally.
Right, and I agree. And so that's part of me saying that I need to continue to read through and get that flow going. So that's, yeah, I don't object to that at all. That's the only way you get better. So that's what question was, what do you need for us to do? Or what is it what's making you not go out and get more of those listings right now? Mine is, I want to make sure my confidence level is where it needs to be, because I don't want to go out there representing EZ and not looking good in the eyes of the public out there, because we're a reflection of EZ. And so if I'm not confident in the product that I'm trying to present, it's not going to make EZ look good. So that's what I'm saying. I want to get confident with the material so that when I'm going out there talking to the people, then are my clients, that I know what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. And
right.
yes, I know
Erica?
where the material is. So I'm working in there.
Erica,
But I think,
one of the main
Robert,
things that is taught is to get the price right. Now, one of the reasons why that's important is the first time that you list a property, List Hub picks it up, it gets syndicated everywhere, and you've got one shot to get it right. So if you, oh shoot, I forgot that picture. It doesn't go out on the syndication to everybody else if you put it on 20 minutes after you post it. You've got to do it right the first time. And that's why when we say, hey, the system works and the system says that you need to shock the market enough for everybody to pay attention to it, that you've got to price it right the first time. Don't cave and give them 2 weeks, because you know it's not going to work. History dictates that.
Right.
We've got 10 years worth of history that shows that by pricing it right, we close deals.
Right. I understand that concept, Mike. I'm talking about the traditional method. That's when I did that. With EZ, you can't do that. You have to price it right. So when I use the platform, I will know to price it right, because you can shoot yourself in the foot if you don't come out of the gate with the right amount. So no, we're talking about two different platforms. We're talking about the traditional way of listing, and then we're talking about the easy method. No, I understand that concept, that I would definitely have to price it correctly in the easy market, because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot.
So if there were videos, like videos with myself or somebody else, like a mock sitting down on a listing appointment, a mock objections, where those scripts were also available, would that be helpful to everyone?
Oh yeah, definitely. That would definitely be helpful.
Kat, do we have a kind of a version of that, Kat, somewhere?
No, we have one with Joe and one of the other agents.
I'm
One of
happy
our-
to do that. Like we can set that up. So if we don't have it, and when we can create them for each objection, so we could have an objection and have the script that you can learn, read, and then have it shown to you so you can see how it plays out.
Yeah, like
All right,
a
you guys,
flow from A to Z.
Well organized.
Yeah. All right. So that we get it. Thank you, Erica. So prize, see, Quinn, awesome. Easy, the enterprise seat. So you guys are making more money. I
Yep.
love that. Kenneth Collins said $1,000 marketing money. I love that too. What are some other, so Bonnie, what would motivate you?
Learning I'm like Erica is. Since I'm new, I'm just learning all the new stuff, and I've got some listings appointments that I've got set up, but I'm still making sure that I've got all the ducks in a row.
All right, Ace Tejada, what would motivate you?
What would motivate me to go out and go get more listings? What I'm finding is that these folks are in some kind of distress type of situation where they need to get out of the house. And it
No,
seems
no.
like,
I don't want to go through that anymore. I want to know what prize money, what kind of prize package would motivate you to get involved in the contest?
oh, I'll get involved in the contest nonetheless. I don't need any reward for it and stuff.
Okay.
I just want to do it just for the experience and the practice.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Amy Alvarez, what would motivate you?
For me to take the time to actually finish the course.
Okay.
I am so behind, and it's just embarrassing.
Okay. Well, I don't know. We can't help you with that.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
All
I'm
right.
getting my life organized.
All right. Let us know if we can help you. Terry? Ronald?
For
me, for
Go ahead,
for
Terry.
a prize,
Yeah.
I would say for a prize, maybe get one of the listings that you did on the Easy platform, the 1% back on one of them.
Okay.
I was thinking
Interesting.
more 6% back.
6%. I don't get 6%.
Yeah, no, I was
I
saying just get one of the listings for as far as the platform goes for free.
Okay. Ronald, Mr. Weeks. 1, 2, 3. Frank Macri.
I don't really need any prizes. How about just cashing a commission check for closing a sale?
Yeah, I like that. That's true. Thank you. Mike Nikolai.
Dinner.
Okay. We make that happen. All right, you guys. Anyways, our hour's up. Thank you so much for coming on. Topic Thursday. I hope it was fun last week, the end of it, but that's gonna be questions and answers. And then by then, maybe I can have the cheat sheet done for you as well to kind of coincide with it.
Hey, Robert.
All right.
Where are you now? Are you in Seattle or Cleveland?
Cleveland.
You're still in Cleveland. Okay. Thanks.
Probably heading to Seattle the middle of September, maybe before. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thank
Right
you.
on. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.